Hello Harbour Kids, it's so nice to be with you today, and welcome to, this is my family room, and this is where Jacob plays. I'm at the table where he normally builds his train set and plays with his toys. This is some of his fluffy toys in the corner here, so if he's watching he'll recognise his tiger and his dinosaur and his doggy and his owl. They're all here in the corner waiting for him to come back because he can't come to our house. It's very strange, and I'm sure it's a bit like that with you. You can't go to Granny and Granda's house, and that's very odd, isn't it? But it's not going to be forever. It's going to be ending sometime, hopefully soon. So today I'm going to do a couple of things. You might need some paper and felt tips, and if you know me, you'll know that when we do Sunday school together, we sign in on the clouds. So you get some paper and draw some clouds on the paper, and you could put my name in, and you could put your name in a cloud, and maybe somebody else who's with you in the room today. If you've got a brother or sister in your house, they could go on your cloud picture. And then you could maybe put some clouds of the other people who go to Harbour Kids. That would be really, really good. So today I want to talk about decisions. So decisions when we have to choose to do something. And if you remember the last time I did Sunday school, which is a couple of months ago now, we were talking about two friends, David and Jonathan. David was a shepherd boy, and if you remember the story about him, he killed the big Goliath, the giant, and then he got to come and live at the palace, which was very strange for him because he was just a shepherd boy, and here he was living at a palace now. And he became great friends with the king's son. That was Jonathan. They were really, really close. But Jonathan's daddy, the King Saul, didn't like David after a while, even though it was him who brought him to live there in the first place. And he got very jealous of him. So Jonathan, one day when they were out in the field, shot some arrows, and he gave David a secret message that it was time for him to leave the palace because his dad was very, very angry with him. Jonathan was really kind to David, and he gave him a sword and his coat and his belt. If you remember some of the things that we made in Sunday school that he gave him. Not long after that, David went to become a great captain of the army, but Jonathan lived at the palace with his daddy, and he married a lady, and he had a son called Mephibosheth. Isn't that such a long word to call a baby? Mephibosheth. And there was a war, and Jonathan and his daddy, King Saul, went out to the war, and they were killed in the war. And there was a maid, she was looking after Mephibosheth, and he was only 5 years old. And she decided, I need to get Mephibosheth to safety, I need to look after him. So she picked him up, and she hurried out of the palace, and she was running really hard, and she fell, and Mephibosheth fell, the two of them fell, and poor Mephibosheth hurt both of his legs. And he couldn't walk properly after that. He had to use 2 crutches after that. He couldn't walk properly for the rest of his life. So years and years later, when David was the king, he was talking to one of his advisors one day, and he said, is there anybody left in Jonathan's family that I could be kind to? He was making a very good decision, wasn't he? And the servant said, I think I know where Jonathan's son lives. And he came back and he told David, yes, Jonathan does have a son. His name is Mephibosheth, and he can't walk. He has to use 2 sticks to walk. And David said, bring him to the palace, bring him to me. So Mephibosheth was sent for. Can you imagine how, because he had never been allowed back into the palace since that time. And here he was coming back to the palace. And when he came in, David said, Mephibosheth! And Mephibosheth said, I am your servant. And he said, you're coming to live here with me. And I'm going to claim back all the land that your grandfather, King Saul, used to own for you. And you will eat at my table every night. Wow! Weren't they amazing decisions? Good decisions to be kind. David made good decisions to be kind. Even though things were very bad at the start of Mephibosheth's life. And lots of people in this lockdown are making good decisions to be kind. You can do that too. And you and me, we're going to make a decision maker now. So I've got a big piece of square paper. I'm going to show you how to make it. And we're going to put ideas on our decision maker of things that we could do to be kind. But let's make it first. So we've got a big square piece of paper and we fold it until it makes lines like that across the paper. Can you see that X shape? So we put it flat down and we fold the corner points into the very center, all 4 of them. 1, keep turning it and make sure the paper doesn't cross over. Make sure the points are all in the middle. The paper has to be square to start off with. Okay? And then we turn it over so all the wobbly bits, they go down on the table. And then we do the same thing again. That center bit in the middle, we fold into the center. Now I know some of you can make these because lots of people make them in school. 4. We've got 4 triangles. And now we fold it in half. And then half again. And we push it like that and pull these bits out. And we've got a decision maker. So on these 4 bits, we're going to put a different colour. I'm going to use Jacob's crayons. 3 felt tips in here. I'm going to do a different colour on each square at the front. Okay? So we've got 4 different colour squares, and then on this side we put numbers 1 to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like that. And then when we open it up, we've got 4 triangles sticking out. Can you see those? So we're going to think of 4 things that we might do to be kind during the lockdown. We might decide that we're going to help our brother or our sister with their schoolwork. We might decide that we're going to take the dog for a walk. We might decide that we're going to bring mummy a drink. We might decide that we're going to tidy our room, but only for 10 minutes. Not a big long time. Lots of things you can decide. So what we do to play this is I'm going to pick pink, P-I-N-K, and I'm going to pick the number 5, and then when I lift that up, I can see in here the decision that I have made. So I would really like to know if you have made a decision maker. I hope you've enjoyed today, and you could even put ideas in there about going to see Granny and Granda when the lockdown is over. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.